Mental health is something that definitely has reared its head in my life personally, in family members, in people I do business with. The interesting thing about what I do is, as you travel the world, every single show, every single interaction brings a whole new set of people who you don't know and you don't have a history for. They don't have your history. Culturally, you may not even understand each other. You may not be from the same backgrounds. So a lot of the time, you're just walking into this thinking, well, I know I'm a cool person and I'm going to be, reasonable in this situation. And you have no idea what the person who you're about to interact with, what their perspective is, and also what their normal is. So a lot of the times, I definitely have had to interact with people and immediately very early on in the conversation realize that this person doesn't approach reasoning or logic or just culture the same way that I do, and I have to adjust and realize that I'm not going to have 6 months to get this person to understand how I think and understand how they think, and I have to kind of move on the fly and kind of realize, okay, you have to change your tack when dealing with this person. You can't be aggressive, or you have to be aggressive. And it's definitely been something that mental health and mental issues have played a part in. And also in terms of myself, if I'm having a bad week or if I've had a bad month or if I'm feeling kind of depressed at that time, but I have to go, I have to get on a plane and I have to go and I have to interact with people. And I'm in entertainment. So you got to walk into the room with a smile on your face, no matter what's going on back there in the back office. I have to walk in and I have to meet this person also who's never met me before, but maybe they've heard about me or maybe they haven't. And maybe they've heard about Jamaicans being a certain way or not being a certain way. And I have to walk in and I have to challenge all of those negative perceptions and it reinforce all the positive perceptions. And I have to do that regardless of how my day is gone or how my week is going or how I'm feeling personally. So it's definitely something that you have to grapple with. The more internationally you travel, and I think especially in the Western world, in America, Canada, Europe, there's a lot of attention on mental illness and mental wellness, and there's a lot of sensitivity around it, and I think everybody's very aware of if you do have an issue, how to handle it, and there's a lot of professionals and there's helplines and there's clinics, and it's very normalized. It's not, what's wrong with you, what's going on. It's very, hey, I think you should maybe should see somebody or get some therapy. And everybody I know in America has a therapist, and they've been going to therapy from they're 18 years old or from they started going to college or high school or whatever. And at first it was strange to me as a Jamaican because we don't have that, traditionally have the attitude towards mental health that a lot of people around the world do. And we in Jamaica tend to feel like everybody's okay except for those guys that say walking on the street and them a madman, right? And there's no in between, and I think that there's just such a huge spectrum upon which our mental wellness rides. Is that, and it can change from day to day, from month to month, whatever. There can be points in your life when you're completely wonderfully well, mentally, and everything's, you feel great, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with if your life is going well or if your life is not going well. And I think in Jamaica we definitely need to do a lot of work around normalizing that and letting people understand that, hey, when you start to feel a little off, or if you feel depressed, or if you feel upset about something, or if you feel anxious, anxiety attacks are a real thing. I know friends of mine who thought they were having heart attacks, and then when the doctor told them I had an anxiety attack, they were like almost more upset than if they were having a heart attack, because they were like, no, that can't happen to me. Me a big man, me a this. No, that's, the things that happen in our minds are more real or as real as what happens in real life, right? So it's perspective. I talk about that a lot in the book as well, is that your perspective shapes how you approach life, and your perspective shapes how you react to life, and I think that therapy can help to shape your perspective a lot, or in therapy doesn't have to necessarily mean that you're going to a professional. It may just mean that you having something that's on your mind a lot, and you call a friend, a trusted friend or a family member and say, hey, I need to talk about this. I need to get this out. Because a lot of the time we just, as Jamaicans, we keep things bottled up because we suffer inside, we suffer silently. We're very stoic. We don't want to feel like, well, I'm a statue, I'm an island all to myself and I can deal with this. A lot of the time you can't. Man, COVID has thrown, I think, everybody for a serious loop. And I think, in particular, Jamaica we're extremely social. We're very social people. We have to get out, we have to mix, we have to mingle, we have to talk, we have to drink. I guess that's our therapy, really. That's a lot of, when I was growing up, if I had issues, it was, boy, I can't wait till Friday night so I can get out and go have some drinks and listen to some music and dance and just get my mind off it, And I think that is one of the beautiful things about music, is it really does do that. It helps you to get your mind off of things. And I think that, you know, the dance hall and the clubs and the bars in Jamaica do perform a great piece of social work where that's concerned. And I think it's been a massive shift and very difficult for Jamaicans to adjust to life without socializing or with limited socializing, you know, and I honestly, I don't really have a, hey, this is what you should do and this is how it's going to fix it, because it's something I suffer with myself a lot. I'm a Libra, and that means I'm super social, and it's kind of been driving me crazy. And what I've been trying to do is live online a lot more and get online and get on IG lives or get on panels. And you know, sometimes I've gotten on panels and thought, oh God, that was so amazing, that was so great for me to be able to get there and be with people and people listening. And then when I go and I check it out, the audience was like some tiny amount of people, and I'm like, you know what, it doesn't matter, because it was for me. I needed that, you know. And I think that more people need to do that. And then I've done some for some UA students, put one together, and some UTech students put one together, and it was just really, I could see it was really good for them also to be able to not just be in a room full of people that they knew, but also be in a room with someone else who they didn't know, and were able to ask questions and get perspectives from someone else. And for me to also hear perspectives of, you know, people of a different age group or a different cultural, you know, socioeconomic background or whatever, you know, I think that is really important. And I think that we just need to start to understand that we need to do that a lot more online. And I think the limited amount of Wi-Fi and data and the cost of Wi-Fi and data in Jamaica is another challenge, you know. And that's why I actually have to shout out Sean Paul Foundation and Flow, which have been giving out tablets to schools and helping kids to stay connected and stay online and stay in class. Because even school is a hugely social thing. I mean, I have two young kids, 1 5 and 1 7, and what they miss about school is not the learning. Obviously, they don't even realize they're learning a lot of the time. But what they miss is the social aspect. They miss their friends. They miss that, you know, and that hour that they get to go outside and play is so hugely formative that I am worried about the normalcy of the children that are going to come out of this generation. You know, and I think we as parents have a lot of work to do and need to be at home and socialize with our kids and not just let them be on screens all the time. That's the other thing. So it's a massive balance, and I think it's a lot of balls to juggle and to figure out.